Imagine waking up in a world where every thought becomes visible, where memories float like glowing bubbles, and your emotions have their own streets and traffic lights. Hey, I'm Aaron. I'm not a scientist or a genius or anything like that. I'm just someone who's always wondered one simple thing. How does my brain actually work? Where do thoughts come from? Why do memories stay or sometimes disappear? And why do emotions hit so hard, even when nothing around us changes? Today, I'm going to find out. Not by reading a book, but by stepping inside my own mind. So, let's begin the journey inside the human brain.
Inside the human brain, more than 86 billion neurons are constantly firing, creating a storm of signals every second. Think of each neuron as a tiny glowing station, and every station is connected to thousands of others. These rapid sparks are the language of your mind. Messages traveling at lightning speed, shaping every thought, every decision, every feeling. This is the world hidden behind a single thought.
So, we've already completed the introduction to the human brain. And now, in this video, we're going a step further. Today's chapter is packed with important concepts, and we're going to break them down one by one, clearly, simply, and visually. In this video, we'll understand how synapses transfer signals between neurons, the major regions of the brain and what each one controls, the real truth behind right brain and left brain, how the memory system stores, protects, and reshapes information, how learning and neuroplasticity physically change the brain, how the limbic system creates and handles emotions, how your brain makes everyday decisions, how the conscious and subconscious mind work together, how hormones and neurotransmitters influence mood and behavior, and at the end, we'll explore some fascinating facts about the human brain that might completely change the way you see yourself. Let's get started. There's a lot to learn, and every part of your brain has a story worth knowing. First, let's look at the building blocks of your brain. Neurons. These are your brain cells, and they communicate with each other to send messages all over your body. But here's the thing. Neurons don't touch each other directly. That tiny space between them, that's called a synapse. So how does a synapse actually work? It's a two-step magic. First, an electrical signal travels down the neuron to the axon terminal. And second, once it reaches the synapse, the signal converts into chemical messengers called neurotransmitters. These chemicals travel across the tiny gap and bind to the next neuron, turning back into an electrical signal to continue the message. It's like sending a secret message via a tiny chemical courier. Synapses are responsible for everything you do. Thinking, moving, feeling, remembering, learning, literally everything. Each neuron can form thousands of synapses with other neurons, creating a huge network that makes your brain super powerful. Now, here's the serious part. If synapses don't work properly, it can lead to major problems. For example, memory issues, because neurons can't pass signals efficiently. Mood problems, like depression or anxiety, because neurotransmitters like serotonin aren't balanced. Neurological disorders, such as Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, or epilepsy, which all involve disrupted synapse function. So basically, healthy synapses is equal to healthy brain. So, we've understood synapses, and now it's time to see the brain from a wider angle. Now we'll explore the major regions of the brain, what they look like, what they control, and how they work together to create everything you think, feel, and do. Think of the brain as a massive city. Different areas have different jobs, but they all work together. This is the frontal lobe, the control center of your personality and decisions. It's responsible for planning, problem solving, judgment, self-control, creativity, and even your personality. When this area develops fully, around age 25, your decision-making becomes stronger and more stable. Next is the parietal lobe, the brain's map and measurement center. It helps you understand touch, temperature, pain, body position, numbers and math, spatial awareness. Next is the temporal lobe, your memory library and sound expert. It controls hearing, language understanding, forming long-term memories, recognizing faces, processing emotions. And here at the back, the occipital lobe, the brain's screen. All your visual information comes here. Colors, shapes, motion, everything you see is processed in milliseconds. And here is the cerebellum, the hidden genius of movement. It handles balance, coordination, smooth movement, posture, muscle memory. If the cerebellum stops working, even standing becomes difficult. And the last one, the brainstem, the part that keeps you alive without thinking. It controls heartbeat, breathing, digestion, reflexes, automatic survival functions. If this area stops, life becomes impossible within seconds. Now we understood all region of a human brain, and more is that no region works alone. For example, if we read a sentence, the brain parts perform like occipital lobe works seeing, temporal lobe understanding words, frontal lobe thinking, parietal lobe tracking eye movement. When these regions connect, you become who you are. But here is some serious condition. When specific regions are damaged, different disorders appear. Frontal lobe damage, personality change, poor decisions. Temporal lobe, memory loss, epilepsy. Parietal lobe, loss of touch or spatial awareness. Occipital lobe, vision problems. Cerebellum, poor balance. Brainstem, breathing, heartbeat failure, critical. And that's the map of your brain. A perfectly designed system where every region has a purpose. In the next chapter, we'll look at the truth behind the right brain versus left brain idea, and what actually happens inside those two parts. The right brain versus left brain theory. You've heard it. One side is logical, one side is creative. But is that really true? Let's find out. For years, people believed that the left brain is logical, analytical, mathematical, and the right brain is creative, artistic, emotional. It's a nice idea, but not accurate. Both sides of your brain work together, not against each other. The two halves are connected by a thick bridge of nerves called the corpus callosum. It carries millions of signals every second between both sides. Left hemisphere functions are language processing, grammar, logical sequences, mathematics, reading and writing, speech production. The left side is great at details and order. And right hemisphere functions are imagination, spatial skills, face recognition, music and rhythm, creativity, emotional tone of voice. The right side is better at big picture thinking and patterns. If I reading a book, left brain will reading words, and right brain understanding meaning and emotion. Even simple tasks use both hemispheres. When you read, your left brain decodes words, and your right brain interprets feelings, tone, and visuals. So, what happens if one side is damaged? If left side damage, there will be speech problems, difficulty reading, trouble with grammar. And right side damage, so it causing trouble recognizing faces, difficulty with spatial tasks, and lack of emotional understanding. This shows each side has strengths, but neither side can work alone. In special case, there are split brain patients. In rare medical cases, the connection between the two hemispheres is cut. This creates a split brain condition. These patients show unusual behavior, like one hand doing something the other hand doesn't agree with. This proves both sides think independently but normally work as one team. So the truth is simple. You don't have a left brain personality or a right brain personality. You have a whole brain, and every part of it works together to help you think, feel, imagine, and understand the world. In the next chapter, we're exploring something even deeper: how your brain stores memories. Memory isn't stored in one place, it's a system. Short-term memory holds information for a few seconds. Working memory helps you think and solve problems. And long-term memory stores experiences by strengthening connections between neurons. The hippocampus creates new memories, the cortex keeps long-term knowledge, and the amygdala locks emotional events. And every time you remember something, your brain rebuilds the memory again. That's the memory system. Simple, powerful, and always changing. The limbic system is the emotional center of the brain. It controls how you feel, react, and connect with the world. The amygdala responds first, fast and automatic. It creates fear, anger, excitement, and quick emotional reactions. The prefrontal cortex comes next. It slows things down, helps you think, and keeps emotions in balance. The hippocampus adds memories to emotions, which is why some moments feel unforgettable. Together, these parts shape every emotion you experience, from joy and curiosity to fear and stress. Next, conscious and subconscious mind. The conscious mind is the parts you're aware of, your thoughts, decisions, focus, and reasoning. It handles only a small portion of your daily actions. Below it lies the subconscious mind, a powerful system that works silently. It controls habits, emotions, automatic actions, and stored memories. The conscious mind is slow, logical, and deliberate. The subconscious is fast, emotional, and automatic. Together, they guide everything you do, one making the choices and the other shaping the patterns behind those choices. Hormones are chemical messengers released into the bloodstream. They travel through your entire body to control major functions. They regulate growth, mood, energy, stress, sleep, and metabolism. Hormones like cortisol manage stress. Insulin controls sugar, and melatonin sets your sleep cycle. Unlike brain signals, hormones work slower, but their impact lasts longer. They keep your body balanced, and when they fall out of balance, your mood, energy, and health can change instantly. And with that, we've reached the end of our journey through the human brain. From synapses and brain regions to emotions, memory, learning, and the chemicals that shape how we think and feel. Every part works together to create the mind you live with every day. Remember, your brain is always changing, always adapting, and always learning. The more you understand it, the stronger your abilities become. Thank you for exploring with us. stay curious, keep learning, and I'll see you in the next video.